4, 3, 2, 1.
All right. Episode 4 of the Office Exchange podcast. I got Sam here with me.
Yo, what's up?
And just to start off, the lighting is a little bit messed up because normally I use my friend Nick's light, but we're all going to Canada and everything's packed up already, so we can't.
Yeah, and I should have been going on the trip.
Listen, next time we'll go to Canada together and we'll have a great time.
Yeah, I know.
It's amazing. Everything's legal.
Yeah, true.
Everything.
I'm 18 now, so I can do whatever I want.
Like, whatever you want in Canada. It's amazing. But you're a very interesting person.
Not really. Everyone says that. Like, a lot of people say that. I'm like, what?
The reason, one of the reasons why I wanted you on the podcast, and the reason I like talking to you is because you're very different than a lot of people your age, right? And the reason why I say your age is because there's a lot of people who are in their 20s who have a similar mindset than you do, in the sense of like accepting of everyone, right? Like, I know kids who are your age who don't accept anybody because they're young, they're immature, and they just follow whatever the next person to them is saying. Yeah. But you're kind of different. You're like, I don't give a fuck who you are. I don't give a fuck what you do. We're cool as long as you don't fuck with me.
Yeah, exactly. Because, like, honestly, everyone's just trying to live their own life. They're trying to live their best life. And, like, if you put too much energy into, like, something negative, it's, like, going to fuck your whole mood up, you know? It's like, you know what I mean?
100%. I 100% agree.
Like, a lot of people tell me I'm very mature for my age, like, even when I was younger, because of, like, everything I've been through, like, just everything I've been through, like, whatever, like, that's been going on in my life, like, whether it be me or with friends, like, helping them out, school, like, just anything like that.
Well, I always say the energy you put out into the world is energy you'll get back, right? So if you spread positivity, I believe that you'll live a positive life. Right, the energy that comes back at you, no matter what the situation is, will be genuinely positive. And I think you kind of strive for the same ideologies as I do in that sense.
Yeah.
Where it's like, why am I going to spread negative energy? There's no point of it. You're who you are, and that's it. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
There we go. See, that's why I fuck with you.
Yeah.
But you want to get into it?
Yeah,
Your transformation?
Yeah, so basically, I started when I was 16, and I went to Cal Lord in the city. It's like a health center.
Okay, wait. Let's explain what you're talking about because they don't even know what. I just
said your translation. Okay.
So you are a trans. Male.
Yeah, I'm a trans male. So I was female, and now I'm transitioning to male. I'm 2 years and a few months actually on hormones.
Okay, and
so
you have to understand that a lot of people don't know. Like we were talking about yesterday.
I gotta educate them.
Yeah, we were talking about it yesterday. I am kind of in this field, right? Like I make sure that I go out of my way to be friends with people from all different communities, not only LGBTQ, whether it's Black Lives Matter and everything else, right? So I try and expand my horizons. But there are a lot of people who kind of sit in a bubble, sit in their own square. So when you say some of the things that you're going through, try and like touch upon it just to kind of explain for people who don't know.
I got
you. You know what I mean?
All right.
So hormones. Yeah. What are hormones?
So hormones, basically, women produce estrogen, males produce, like, testosterone. So since I was born female, I'm only producing estrogen. So when I take hormones, I have to take testosterone to make, like, my body change, or, like, even my mentality sometimes, because, like, just women or girls, they say, mature faster than guys, or, like, whatever they're, like, the way they think, like, how they are emotionally, like, how sensitive they are sometimes is very different from a male. So basically, my body has changed completely. Like, the hormones change, like, your body as in, like, instead of, like, a pear figure, or, like, curvy figure for a woman, I now have, like, a more masculine and more V-defined body, which is really nice. Like, yo, I have so much energy. Like, my appetite, I'm hungry all the fucking time. You know, because I'm always eating at work, or I'm always, like, I'm so hungry. So, it changes like that. You get, like, literally, you're going through puberty as a guy, basically. And for, like, people who are transitioning from male to female, it's the same thing. They take estrogen because they produce testosterone. And they're going through puberty as a girl. That I think is harder just because like they have to go through so many different surgeries, like facial reconstruction. With testosterone, my jawline like has been popping out a little bit. Like some guys get an Adam's apple. Mine's not that defined. Like you can see it sometimes, but not that much, and that depends.
The thing with like with the facial reconstruction, it's sometimes women can look like men.
Yeah.
Like all you need to look like a male, honestly, is like facial hair.
Yeah.
Like the Adam's apple, mine doesn't even stick out.
Yeah,
you
exactly.
know what I mean? And it's like, so for a female turning into a male, it's probably not as hard in that sense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because there are males who kind of resemble females, and it's really doesn't matter. You know, people don't really care. But when it comes to a male turning into a female, it's kind of like a lot of times when you think of females, they have specific facial things, and you could kind of tell. Like, I mean, females do get facial hair though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They just take care of it better than guys.
Yeah.
Guys kind of just let it go, and women, they obviously pamper themselves. And
yeah, like honestly, I wouldn't say it's like harder just because I'm not like going through like male to female, because like everyone's transition is different. Like everyone's going through different struggles, different like obstacles within their transition. With me, it was just like trying to get legal stuff. Like I'm still trying to get my legal stuff out of the way. I'm just...
By legal stuff, what does that mean? Your name, right?
Yeah, like my name. Like certain things you have to do legally is change your name, your gender marker. So instead of like it on your license or your ID saying sex F for female, it'll say M, or like the other way around.
So you can get in wait, how does that? Can you get in trouble for that though? Like if you, let's say you have the surgery and like it says female but you're a male, like can you get in trouble, or is it just something you want to do for yourself? Like how does that work?
No.
I don't even know.
Yeah, so basically like it's definitely something you want to do for yourself. So like the reason why I want my name to say Sam, like my legal name now, because I went to court June 20th, 6 days before my birthday, so it was like an early birthday present for me. Like I got my name legally changed at court. I just have to change it at I have to change my social security, and I have to get my ID. And I have to get my new birth certificate because they took my old one.
New one.
Yeah, because it's a totally different name, and like the gender is different. So basically, the reason why I wanted to say Sam Cole DiFazio instead of my previous name, which was Samantha Nicole DiFazio. Like some people change their name like drastically, but me, I just really like my name.
Right.
Like so, I wanted to keep it, and like I like the name Cole. It's like different. It's like
Cole.
Yeah, it's nice, you know. But so basically, like I want to do it because like when I'm out with people and like I have to like go into a club or something that requires an ID, alcohol, whatever the case may be, or like something as simple as just like let's say I get pulled over and like I have to show them license or registration. I want my name and my gender to match like what I identify as. Right. And like that's like a huge struggle for anyone like who's dealing with the legal stuff, especially in like a state different from New York, because New York is where everything happens. Like you can get a lot of shit done in New York. But so yeah, so like legal stuff like that is just a name change and gender marker for me. Everything else is just physical, like the surgeries, whether it be top surgery, bottom surgery, hysterectomies or vasectomies, where hysterectomy and vasectomy is like when you get like the female organs taken out, like the uterus and the vagina and all that stuff. So yeah.
You're 18?
Yeah.
And you started it 2 years ago?
Yeah, so basically, there's a healthcare facility in the city named Callan Lord, and it's for, like, all, like, LGBTQ community members, like, all people from, like, the community. And there's a program that I'm a part of called HOT, with 2 T's, and it stands for Health Outreach to Teens. And basically, they help like younger trans or like just kids like get like hormones or like just like the medicine they need. And I'm so thankful to be a part of that like program, because I found out through a family friend who's an adult. He's trans also. He's also FTM like me, female to male, and he recently got top surgery last year. And so he was the only person I really had when I was younger growing up, like, to relate to. Like, I didn't have any other, like, my friends didn't know what the fuck was going on with me. Right. they were like, oh yeah, Samantha's a tomboy. I want to be like this. I want to be like Sam. I want to wear like a bikini top with basketball shorts. But like they didn't know, like I wanted to be a boy. Like I didn't like being a girl. I didn't like anything to do with it. I didn't like anything.
Sorry to cut you up. Being so young, how did you know you didn't like being a female? Like what? Because I've like I said, never experienced that, and I know people who feel the same way you do, but I kind of want to hear your story. Like, how did you know? Like, I don't want to be a female. That this shit sucks. I don't like it.
Yeah. So basically, every story that I've ever heard, whether it was like on TV, like I Am Jazz, like that show, like with Jazz and her transition, or like YouTube videos of like 100,000 different kinds of trans kids, they knew from a young age. Like I started at age 5, I would say, and my mom always told me that I would actually run around telling people God made a mistake, I should have been born a boy. And no 5-year-old just says that. Like, and 5, because I realized 5 is like that number, like that trans, like all trans kids or trans teens, transgender people, they know from a young age, because that's when you start to develop like your personality a little bit. You can like distinctively tell like what you like. You like the dress over the polo over the dress. You want to wear the suit and tie, not the gown, you know, like you, or like sometimes like you're both, like people like who are gender fluid, like they believe they are both genders. Right. I don't know too much about that, but
I was going to touch up that, you made that point. There are people who are born with balls and a vagina, or like a penis and a vagina. They're both born with both things. And like, what do you say to somebody who has that? It's like you can't just be like, pick a side. It's like, well, no, I don't know how I feel. It's like a lot of the times in those situations, they kind of force you to make that choice at a young age, and you're like, well, I don't know exactly what I want to be, and I don't know who I am, and it's hard to develop. Like, I feel like people look at people from the LGBTQ community and they're like, what is wrong with you? You don't, because a lot of people in the community are like, I don't know what I am, I don't know what I like, this and that, and people like to be like, oh, I don't know how you don't know what you like and this and that, but it's like, you don't even know what you like.
Exactly.
As a 20-year-old, just because you're a male, think about how many things you don't know, right? Like, okay, you know you're a male and you know you like women, but that doesn't mean you know what career you're going to go into. That doesn't mean you know, who you're going to marry. It doesn't mean you know what kind of girl you like. Like, think about those things that you don't know and kind of compare it to people in the LGBTQ community. Imagine being in your own body and not knowing what you like, what you don't like.
Yeah,
you know
or even who you are.
Exactly.
Like, not knowing who you are is, like, the biggest thing for, like, a lot of people in that community, because, like, everyone, like, no matter if you're cisgender, meaning, like, you're comfortable with, like, the sex you were born with. So you're cisgender because you were born a male, you're happy as a male, you're a male. But me, I'm trans because of the fact that, like, I was a female, I didn't feel comfortable in my body, and I'm transitioning into a male. So basically, people like who are cisgender, like, they don't understand what is happening mentally or physically, like between like body dysmorphia, which is where like it's basically like a self-body image issue. Like, it's just you have so much dysphoria, like you're so like disgusted with, like, for me, I was just so disgusted with my body, like it didn't feel like mine, and that's what you're gonna hear a lot when you hear like other trans kids talk about it, or just transgender people in general talk about how they felt. And like, so like you said, imagine being like from that community, not knowing who you are, but also like thinking of other things you don't know on top of it as someone who's not transitioning, or like who's not gay or who's not lesbian or anything. Like, you don't know what someone's going through. Like, you got to put yourself in their shoes. So, yeah.
So, what made you, like, because you said you didn't like your body, and how, like, I can't even imagine, like, how does that feel, like, sitting there and being like, what the fuck?
Yeah, like, so basically, like, I went through, like, puberty as a girl. Like, I, like all girls do, I got my period. I, like, you know what I mean? I had to start wearing bras. Like, I wore sports bras because I never liked bras. It was just, I didn't like it. I didn't feel comfortable. I didn't want to have boobs. Like, I didn't want to have my period. I didn't want any of that, but I got it because I was coming of age. Like, I was, like, growing up. You know, I couldn't stop it. But thank God hormones does stop that. Like testosterone stops that because obviously guys don't get their periods. Like guys don't like have boobs unless like they're a little chubby or like they have like just extra skin or whatever, you know. Like you can always like not fix, but you can always like take care of yourself, whether it be exercise or whatever, like to get rid of that if you are a guy, or like even if you're a girl and you just want smaller, like a smaller chest for some reason, like whatever your reason is, working out does help with that. Like I have like pecs, like, and my friends like say like, oh, when I think of you, I just think of like a guy losing weight because like you have a small chest compared to other like people. Like I'm just so happy I'm not like, I don't know, like some of my friends because who are girls because they have like big like they got double D's and stuff, and like everyone's like, oh, if you had my boobs, like it'd be really hard for you. I'm like, yeah, because like you can't hide that.
Right.
The way people hide it sometimes is sometimes they'll wrap their chest to make it smaller, or like me, I wear a binder, which is basically a tank top that like just basically shrinks your chest. It compresses your like just like the boobs or whatever you have, and I don't have that much, so like you can't even notice really. So like, yeah.
It's just so crazy that to me that like you could be born like that, like I'm trying to comprehend I'm trying to articulate myself here. I can't even imagine that being born and then looking at yourself and like growing up and you're just like, man, fuck this. I don't like the way I look. I don't like the way I feel. I hate this. And then imagine not being able to do anything about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you are blessed enough to be able to make that change and go through these things. And imagine the people who are sitting in their skin like, I hate this and I don't want to be here. And like, can you just imagine what people are going through?
Yeah, because like I definitely went through it. And, like,
another thing is like a lot of people hate on like the LGBTQ community and people that make transitions, people who are gay, people who are lesbian. Like we were talking about it yesterday. Like people literally will threaten you.
Yeah. If
you are gay, trans, queer, like I don't think people understand. A lot of people like to joke. That's the thing. A lot of people like to joke around about you're a faggot, you're a loser, you're this, you're that, jokingly. But they don't realize that there are LGBTQ people who will literally hurt you because of whatever sick mind that they have.
Yeah.
It's like crazy. Like because we were talking about it yesterday, and you were saying how your father told you to be careful. And
yeah, like my parents were so scared because I am young, and like in my neighborhood, like everyone's so loving. Like I did and I still have a lot of friends. If anything, I have more friends than I did growing up. And like that's because like I'm comfortable now. I'm able to be like open about it. Like with this podcast, like I'm able to talk about it with you. And like, stop it. But like, you know, like I don't really mind sharing my story because like one, I've shared it with like other people, and like I know like one day like my story might help someone else. Like because, for example, Aiden Dowling, he's very well known. I would even say famous. He's like the first trans male to be on the cover of Men's Health Fitness or something like that magazine. So like honestly, the thing is like it's just very scary like to come out, like whether it be gay or trans, whatever. Like even in general, like it's just like the world is scary and the world is cruel sometimes. Like even if you're just like you're just cisgender, like you never know, like you can be attacked. But with people from the LGBTQ community, I feel like a lot of people who are like not a part of that community, like they don't understand, they're not educated. Like my parents, they knew because of my family friend, but this was their own kid who going through it, and they didn't, like there was no one in my family who transitioned. Like everyone was fine with how they were happy as they were. And then you have me, like sort of like the outsider of the family, if you want to say. Like I was very different. My whole family knew I was tomboy. I wanted boy clothes, like everything. I wanted short hair, everything. When I came out to my mom, I could not stop crying. I had a panic attack just because I was just scared of what was going to happen, not because of her response, because I love my mom so much. I'm not going to get emotional because I get emotional with my mom. Like, she's my number one. And if I didn't have her, I wouldn't be transitioning as young as I did. Because my dad takes change very hard. He's very set in his ways. He's very old school. But the first person I came out to was my godmother, my mom's sister, sorry. And I was crying to her. I was like, I'm so unhappy. Because I was trying to fit in. I was trying to wear the bikinis. I was wearing dresses to Sweet 16s and parties. I was putting on makeup for the Sweet 16s, but like when I wasn't doing that, I was still tomboy and stuff. But I didn't like it. I tried that for everyone else, for my dad. I tried to like it as best I could, but I knew I wasn't happy. So I told my godmother, and I was like, I'm really not happy. Like, I really want to like tell my mom. And she was like, maybe you should wait like till you calm down just to like talk to her about it, because she's very supportive too, and we would always ride around, talk about anything. So basically, I was like, no, I think I have to tell her now. And she was like, okay, well, you just let me know what happens. Like, you know, your mom's gonna love you no matter what. And she was right, obviously. I told my mom that night when I got home from hanging out with my godmother, and I cried. And my family doesn't see me cry. Like, I don't cry in front of anyone. And so I like was all choked up, and I like really couldn't breathe, and my mom like knew it was serious. So she sat me down. We were on the balcony, and she started rubbing my back. She's like, it's okay, like whatever you have to say, just like say it, like it's okay, like I'm here, like everything's gonna be okay. And I told her like I'm transgender. Like, and that was like really scary to like actually say it out loud, to actually hear yourself say that, to come to terms with it, because I knew of like stories about kids who would get like kicked out of their homes, or beaten the gay or trans whatever out of them, and it's like that's not how you do that. And from a young age, my mom wanted me to go to therapy. Like, she wanted me to go to someone I can talk to about my feelings, not to do the whole reverse psychology, which is where, or shock therapy, which is where they like, it's basically like, most likely it'll be like with priests or people from a church, and they'll basically like exorcise you because of like they think there's a gay demon or something in you. And I was very scared of that because I didn't want to go through that. And in my family, especially on my mom's side, like we're not religious, but like we do like we're very like proper, I like to say. Like we're very like, we've like made our communions, our confirmation. I made my communion and my confirmation. And
so you've been told your whole life by the church that that's wrong, basically.
Yeah, like during my confirmation, they were saying how like you can't marry a man. If you are a man, you can't, like that's wrong. And like my mom knew, because she was like, that's not right. Like Sam, like we all know Sam's like different. Like we all know like he has to live his life the way he wants. Like we can't like just decide that for him. And like you don't tell, like it's just wrong in general. You can't tell someone how to live their life. They gotta make their own decisions. They have to live their life to the fullest they can and experience life themselves.
And you have to learn from your own experiences.
Yeah, exactly. So basically, when I told my mom, she was like, listen, whatever you want to do, we're gonna do it. And I told Danny, who's the FTM family friend, and he was like, I'm so proud of you, because growing up, when I would say like, oh God, I made a mistake, I should have been born a boy, and everyone would give me weird looks or whatever, I would just literally be by myself. Like I would just isolate myself. I didn't want to talk to anyone. And my mom would be like, can you tell Sam that it's okay to feel what he's feeling? Like it's okay to know at a young age that nothing's wrong with him. Like he's fine. He's not perfect. No one's perfect. But like he's perfect in his own way, you know? And that really helped me growing up, because I thought it was wrong. It was very conflicting, because also my friends didn't know anything. They were like younger than me.
And that must be scary, being, you know, telling your friends and them not knowing their reaction you'll get out of it, you know. And since you did it at such a young age, it's like, how did people treat you though when When you were in high school, and because you were in high school when you started transitioning, and was it a weird reaction, a bad reaction? What was it like?
I honestly have a great support system. From the moment I came out to my godmother, to my mom, to like my friends. Like my friends all knew. They were like, we know, like it's no secret. When I actually came out as bi, and when you're bisexual, it means like you just both male and female, like you like girls and boys. When I came out to one of my friends as bi, we were very young. I don't know how old, but like we were still young, and she was like saying, I don't feel comfortable around you anymore. I don't want to have sleepovers with you. But again, we didn't know what that was. I did because like I was like, okay, I like both, and like I knew what that was called. I knew the label, whatever anyone was calling it. And she didn't know. Now we're obviously like still close. Like we don't hang out as much as we used to, but because that's life. Like she's busy, I'm busy, but she loves me, I love her. She's amazing, and we still hang out to this day, like every now and then.
Besides her, how did the people from your class react?
My class, everyone. So I went to World of Journalism Preparatory School, and everyone knows that's from 6th grade to senior year. So some of the kids have known me since middle school. So they already knew I was tomboy. And they didn't care. They were like, Sam's living his life.
It was a surprise, basically.
Yeah, they were like, he's happy. He looks good. I'm so proud of him. Like, a lot of my friends' family, like, praise me about it. Like, they're so happy for me. They're so supportive. One of my best friends, Leia, she, when I actually first came out to her as trans, she was like, I like Samantha better. I don't want you to change. And it's beautiful. Like, it did hurt. It was so, like, upsetting because, like, she's one of my best friends as the other girl with me coming out as bisexual. But the beauty of, like, transitioning is to also see how people transition with you. Leia is my best friend, one of my best and closest friends. She loves me so much. She's so proud of me. For my 1-year anniversary on hormones, she threw a surprise party for me at her house with all of our friends, because like we have like the same friends. And she made me a rainbow cake inside and out. Like, so it's beautiful to see, like, because she didn't know about it, because she wasn't used to it. She didn't know anyone like that before I came, before I actually came out and started. And like she would come with me to my doctor's appointments in the city to get my shots and everything. So it's beautiful to see how people could change and grow to love it because they see someone they love going through it. And like that's like with my dad. Like I was saying, how he's very hard. He takes change very hard. I didn't get to come out to him. I don't know who told him. I think someone in our neighborhood told him, and he was very upset because I was already taking shots. I was already on hormones because I started taking hormones. So I went to the healthcare facility when I was like 15, and you have to have a therapist before you start hormones, but no one got back to my mom or I. So we would talk to my doctor, and once 2016 hit, like January-ish, he said, listen, you're coming to your appointments on time, you're very dedicated, you're a very bright kid, you're very educated on these subjects, you know what you want, and you're not afraid to get it. And on that specific day, the appointment before my first hormone shot, I came by myself because my mom had work. Because usually she would come with me or my friends, but no one was able to come with me. So I went. My mom was like, do you want to change the schedule, like the appointment? I was like, no, I want to go. And it was in winter because it got very dark early and I had school the next day. And I was very determined on just going, talking to him. Like telling him how I was and everything, like mentally and like emotionally. And he was like, because you came here like by yourself, like that shows me how much you want it. And like, so he was like, so next time you come, we're gonna have your first hormone shot, and I was like, I was just so happy. And my mom came with me. We read the risks, or like what's going to happen basically when, like, the side effects of the hormones.
What does that look like though? Like the side effects of it.
So
like
basically,
hormones and the treatments and whatnot.
Yeah. So basically, like the hormones, like I said, like so testosterone, it just makes you, it like puts you through puberty as a male. So like I grew body hair, like my body fat redistributed, so I have more of a V shape than curves. I don't have curves. My chest shrunk a lot. I have like it gives you more muscle mass, like especially if you go to the gym and you work out. A lot of trans guys do that to make themselves look like a man, like to make them like look like they have muscles and stuff, like you know what I mean? So it's just crazy how much can change. Like also mentally, like I'm normally a hothead because of my dad, and sometimes I will get angry and I'll be like out of control, and it's like, wait, what the fuck? But like I'm also very calm at the same time. It's weird. So I'm also to like I'm able to hold back and be like, I gotta relax, like gotta calm down.
Yeah.
Like,
wait, so I have a question.
Yeah.
You shared your story. You told us how you felt when you were making the transition, and all right. So now that the surgery is in another couple months, and you'll officially be a male, right? Like you'll have your top and everything.
Yeah, it depends. Like some people, like they don't transition. Like when they transition, sometimes they don't do surgery. Sometimes they just do hormones. Sometimes they do surgery, not hormones. Sometimes they don't do both. They just say, I'm male. I don't need any of that. I feel comfortable in my body, but I want to be identified as male or female, like whatever it is. But with me, for me, in my case, I won't officially feel like a guy until I have all my surgeries. So that's top surgery, which is getting like the breast fat removed to make it look like you have, like to make a flat chest. Right. Vasectomy, which is just basically getting all the organs out, and bottom surgery, which is basically for FTMs, like female to males, like the construction of a penis.
Wait, so for the vasectomy part, you said, what do they take out though? Like the female, like what is it, like,
so vasectomy, it's like, they take out like the ovaries, uterus, vagina, like everything. I'm not good with body parts, even though I have them right now. But like, they take all of it out, and like you don't have to do that. But like a lot, like I don't know if it's a myth, but like people say if you don't get that out, you can get some type of cancer. I don't know if it's ovarian cancer or what. It's probably because the ovaries are down there, but I don't know if that's true, but like I just don't want female parts in me if I'm a male. Like that's just me. A lot of people agree with me if like that's how they feel as well and stuff like that.
So what do you tell somebody? So after you get your penis and right, you're in your body and you feel like a male and you're yourself, right? What do you? All right, so when it comes to trans, I hear this question a lot, right? And I hear this is like a controversial topic. When you meet somebody and you're doing something sexual with them, do you feel like you have to tell them, or do you feel like it's not necessarily something they need to know?
Well, I'm happy like we're getting onto this subject because like it is very controversial. Like you're gonna hear a bunch of different answers, but also like I also want to get into like dating as a trans person. So like basically, if you're in a relationship with someone and you're trans, some people don't tell them the first time. It's also a safety reason because you don't know who's like what people are capable of, or like you just don't want to get hurt or rejected because like you're weird or whatever, when it's completely normal. It's the 21st century. It's completely normal. Even back then it was normal, just no one was
people
educated
were hiding
on
it.
No one knew. Like
exactly.
no, it was new, and it like when things are new, people are scared because it's like,
and it wasn't accepted too. So it's like if you did it, you're like some fucking weirdo.
Exactly. Like, but that's not the case. Everyone who goes through transitions is normal, or like who's gay, lesbian, whatever, bi, like everyone's normal. Even queer or questioning people, they're normal. But me personally, I told all my friends, and one of my friends I did get into like a relationship with basically. she already knew. Her parents aren't accepting of it. Like, they know I'm a good person and everything, but it's just their religious beliefs. And I asked her, have they ever thought that God made them that way to see how people would react to them or something? Like, it's just a thought. And she was like, no. And I was like, yeah, because they're so stuck on the old way. They're not thinking, maybe God did this for a reason. Maybe he put people who are not the same with other people just to see how they would react. Like, you are fine with me. Like, you like me. We're friends. Like, you don't have anything against me. You're not hateful. You're trying to understand. But it's funny to see how someone else could be like call you names or whatever, or like just physically hurt you or kill you.
Yeah, it's crazy because it's tough, right? Because when it comes to like being someone in your shoes, it's like you can get mad at somebody for not liking you, but when it's something that they believe in, it's like telling you something that you believe in is wrong. It's the same way as telling them something they believe in is wrong. Like, they believe in religion, they believe in those things. That's why they think like that. So telling them they're wrong is wrong, but them telling you you're wrong is also wrong. Yeah, you know what I mean? So it's like it's like a circle that never ends of like you're wrong, but then you're wrong too, and then it's just like because it's like, how do you tell somebody what they believe in is wrong? Because then you're like being a hypocrite, because then they could easily say to you what you believe in is wrong, and it's like
it's just gonna go back and forth.
Yeah, it's a big
like that's why I would tell her, like, listen, obviously, like, it's not like a right or wrong type thing. It's what you believe in. Yeah, like, that's what I always say.
But nothing you believe in should turn to violence, though. Like, let's be real here. Like, even if you don't believe in their religion, you don't fucking try and kill them. And just because they don't believe in who you are, they shouldn't fucking try and kill you and everything.
Exactly.
But when you're going into dating, right? Because, like I said, you'll have everything's gonna be done. Like, are you gonna tell, for you in particular? I don't know. Are you gonna say like, oh, by the way, I'm trans, or are you gonna like wait till you get to know them and stuff like that? Because the way I look at it is like. It's tough because I understand why you wouldn't want to tell somebody because you don't want to see that reaction. But at the same time, it's like if you wait to tell them later on, you're going to get that reaction anyway. So the way I look at it is if I was trans, I mean, I'm not, so I can't really say what I would do if I was in your shoes. But in that, looking from the outside in, I would want to tell that person, like, hey, listen, by the way, I'm this. Because if you can't accept me for who I am, then get away from me, right? Like, I want you to know as soon as possible, just so I know what I'm working with and you know what you're working with, and that's that. It's like, it's the same thing as, you know, when you date somebody and you tell them, I mean, it's two different extremes, but it's the same thing as telling somebody like, oh, listen, by the way, I have anger issues, right? It's two different things, but it's kind of the same thing. You want to tell them ahead so they know what they're working with and, you know, this and that. So, would you tell them if you meet somebody, or you would just wait? Like, it's up to you. I just told you my point of view.
Yeah, with me, I think I would, just because, like, even with, like, my friend who, like, we're still, like, we're, like, basically, like, dating right now. It's just weird because of her parents and everything. Like, I would tell them, like, I told her when we were, like, just friends. And with me personally, like, I can't have a relationship with someone unless, like, we're friends first. Because when we're friends, I want to know, like, basically everything about you.
So if you were friends, they would know then.
Yeah.
Essentially, before getting into something serious, they'd already know. Okay, that's...
Yeah, and, like, everyone who knows me basically knows I'm trans. Like, it's not a secret. It's, like, if you know someone who knows me, you're going to know I'm trans. Or, like, but it's not always like that,
The thing is, exactly, it's not, I was going to say it's not always like that because you're going to go to college soon.
Yeah.
Right? And in high school, they knew because, like you said, you went from 6th grade to whatever. In college, it's different because they won't know. Like, if they follow you on social media, you're open about it, so they might know, right? But if they don't and they just meet you for the first time, they might not know. So it's like, that's something I think you're going to have to experience and work with. And, I mean, we'll come back on the podcast, we'll follow up. You know, obviously, we're still going to be friends, so I'll be there for you and whatnot. But that's going to be interesting to see how that unfolds, right? Like, how you handle that. Because it's going to be a lot of obstacles as you get older and as things progress. And it's going to be interesting to see how you handle those things. But that's like not only with you as being a trans person, that's like anybody going through any different experience.
Yeah, exactly.
Like as time goes on, you experience new things and you learn from them and whatnot. So it's interesting to see how that'll turn out in the future.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of want to take like a turn, like a little left turn real quick, because you mentioned therapy earlier in the conversation, and I want to touch on that because I'm somebody who believes in therapy, whether it's paying a therapist or having your own type of therapy or having a friend to talk to or just working out and exercising, whatever your therapy is, I believe in it, right? Because if you're stressed out, you need to do things that'll de-stress you. And a lot of people kind of look at therapy, the traditional therapy, whether it's talking to somebody in an office, like it's a negative thing. Like there's a negative annotation on it. And I don't really like to subscribe to that because if you need help or you need someone to talk to, there's nothing wrong with that, right? Like a lot of people like to look at it like, I don't need a like the idea is in society is I don't need a therapist. I'm not crazy. I'm perfectly fine, right? But my take is, why do I need a therapist? Why do I have to be crazy to need a therapist?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's kind of like how I look at it. So I want to hear your take on therapy. You could either take it from a personal perspective or from somebody from the LGBTQ, however you want to tackle it. Like, how do you feel about therapy?
Just in general, I think therapy is great. Like, one of my best friends goes to therapy, and she always tells me, I think you should go, like, just to, like, talk. I think it would really help you. When I was younger, I was scared of it just because I thought it was going to brainwash me and basically say, like, you're not supposed to feel like a man. You're supposed to, like, be a woman. You're supposed to be a girl. But growing up, I realized you don't have to be crazy. Like, you can just go talk to someone, and like you said, it could be a friend. It doesn't have to be a therapist. You don't have to pay money to someone to listen to your problems and like prescribe you with like a whole bunch of drugs. Like, you can go to anyone you feel comfortable to and just talk. Like, even this, I'm just very comfortable. I'm very open about like me, who I am, my problems and everything. And, like, sometimes that's bad. So I've learned growing up to, like, hold certain things back, but still be open enough to, like, relate to people, to be able to, like, talk about my problems and, like, get through them, whether it be on my own at that time or, like, know when to talk about them. And so I think therapy is good. Working out, like you said, was huge for me just because, like, I was in my zone when I worked out. I was very focused. I was very concentrated. And that's basically like an outlet for people too. Also, like, there's different outlets like music. Right. Like, if I was musically talented, I'd probably do music.
Or listening to music alone.
Yeah.
It'll help you finding artists that you could really...
Yeah.
A lot of times when I listen to music, depending on my specific mood, like I know an artist that I want to listen to if I feel some type of way, and artists can help you get through things with the things that they say, and that's one form of therapy. But another reason why I think the traditional type of therapy is, the reason why I don't understand why it's so looked down upon is because, like, there are therapists where if you have anxiety, they will tell you what to do to calm that anxiety down. There are therapists out there that'll help you with anger problems. Like, they are techniques, they are professionals, and I don't really subscribe to the fact that you're crazy. If you need a therapist, you're crazy, or you have a problem. If you need, like, therapy can be anybody could whether if you have anger issues, no issues at all. Like, you know, it's just interesting that you mentioned therapy because that's kind of something that I look at in society, and I'm always looking at it like, why are we looking at all these people who have therapists as crazy people? It doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah,
I don't understand it because a lot of times, especially when you get older, think about it. You get into a relationship. A lot of times in your relationship, people, whether you subscribe to this or not, you lose a lot of your friends. Yeah. Because a lot of the times when you have free time, when you're not working, when you're not sleeping, playing video games, whatever, you want to be with your significant other rather than your friends. Yeah. So imagine being older and going through life, and now you grew up with 10 friends in high school, and now you're in college, you have 5, and then now that you're 25, you have 1, and now you have kids and just a husband. You don't have that many friends. Who can you talk to besides your husband, like, and besides your kids? And I think it's something that shouldn't be looked down upon. Like, honestly, I think it's just crazy that people look at therapy and say you're crazy for having a therapist, or you have to be nuts to have, or you have to have a problem to have a therapist. It doesn't make really doesn't make much sense to me. whatever.
Yeah, like, honestly, like, my best friend, like, she's not crazy. I'm not just saying that because she's my best friend. Like, she's really not crazy.
Mm-hmm.
She just has a lot of, like, things going on with, like, her family and, like, college because she graduated early, and, like, it's just very stressful for her. And, like, her job, like, she's just very stressed out, so she needs that person to talk to. And, like, every teenager or, like, young adult, like, we all get depression one time in our life, like a few maybe in our life. We all have anxiety because of all, like, the stress that we get at a young age to do good, get good grades, to get into a good college, to get a great job, like,
everyone's,
you know what I mean?
built differently, you know.
Exactly. And, like, the reason why, like, for people transitioning, for therapy for them, basically, is to make sure you're not going to change your mind. It's to make sure, like, you're set on this, you know what, like, you know what I mean? It's, like, to make sure you know what's going to happen.
Because when you do something like that, it's hard to...
Yeah.
Like, once you transition, it's like...
Yeah.
You can transition back, I think, maybe.
Yeah.
But it's, like, that's another process right there. So
yeah.
It's, like, having a therapist, and that makes sense.
Exactly. Like, there is a thing called detransitioning where basically, like, let's say I don't want to be a guy anymore. I want to go back to being a girl. I would stop taking hormones, and I would just, like, let the estrogen kick back in. I would get my period again.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I would lose facial hair just because they say, like, depending on how long you've been on whatever hormone you're taking, whether, like, for me, testosterone, some changes are more, like, not permanent, but they last longer.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, it's harder to get rid of. So it's very serious. Like, that's why you have a therapist to, like, and psychiatrists, like, because you need those letters to get surgeries, to get top surgery, to be like, okay, this patient is set on becoming the person that they identify as, like, they are ready to have the surgery, like, they're good to go. So, like, you don't have to be crazy. Like, it's just reassurance, I think.
Yeah, it's I think it's something that needs to be reevaluated in the eyes of society, right? It's like we need to really look at that and understand that it's not something that only crazy people need, or crazy people need, or, you know. But anyway, Sam, thanks for stopping by.
Yeah, of course.
I appreciate you sharing your input, and I want people to really think about some of the things that Sam said, some of the notes, some of the take notes on some of the things that he said. Right? He was like literally talking about not being comfortable in his body. Like, can you imagine that for the people who don't like trans or don't understand or don't appreciate them as people? Think about that. Just think about not being happy. A lot of people aren't happy in their own bodies because they're either bigger than they want to be, or they have like a bigger nose or big ears. Imagine not being able to understand who you are. Like, just put yourself in those shoes, put yourself in that world, and then try and understand where Sam is coming from and people from that community are coming from, and really listen to the things that Sam was saying, in the sense of, like, he had a decent coming out when he was going through the process, and he still is. There are people who aren't accepted. There are people whose families will not accept that. And think about those people. Think about the struggles that they do go through. And I'm not saying feel sympathy for them. I'm not saying sit here and feel bad for these people in this community, but just try and understand, right? Because we are all people at the end of the day. And I guess that's kind of the last note I guess I want to leave it on. You want to say anything?
Yeah, like, people definitely can change. Like, with my dad, at first he was just very scared. He was like, I don't like this. I didn't agree to it. I didn't give my consent because I was a minor. But he loves me no matter what. He supports me. He's just very scared of what other people will do or say to me. He's very protective. And basically, like, he's just trying to look out for his kid. And he's come around since then because we've always had, like, a rocky relationship just because I'm closer with my mom. And I'm able to talk to her about all this stuff. But he actually signed consent for my name change. So it's, like, it's slowly getting there. So it's, like, progression.
That's another thing. we're gonna end it here because we have stuff to do. We're busy people.
Yeah.
But
I got work.
Yeah. But so do I. Anyway, we work together. Anyway, that's possible. But fuck, I was gonna say something. Oh yeah. Sometimes just try and put yourselves in someone else's shoes and try and look from their lens and educate yourself on something that you don't know, right? I'm not sitting here saying I know more than everybody else, but I try and educate myself on different fields just so I can kind of understand and comprehend the things that are going on, or at least try. But that's that. Thanks for stopping by, Sam.
Yeah, of course.
For anybody who is in Sam's shoes, if you need anybody to talk to, you could definitely hit him up. His Instagram was in the beginning of the video. It'll be in the bio. You could always text me, call me, anything. Let me know. Talk to me. But episode 3 is over. Thanks for stopping by, Sam. That's it.
Cool.
Anything to say?
I just want to say, a lot of people, like this one person, I forgot who it was, but they said people who are going through transitions, they have a mental picture of what they should look like, what they want to look like. And then the physical map is not correct. So that's how it feels, especially for me. Once I heard that person say that, I was like, that's exactly how I feel. So it's not for everyone, but that's definitely what I felt. And I think a lot of other transgender people can definitely understand that, or even gay people or lesbian people. Like, they will also, like, agree with that.
Be the change you want to see, motherfuckers. All right, we're done. Peace.
That was good. I think it was episode 4.